Hello everyone, I welcome you to a new episode of Grisaia. Now let's continue, shall we? Can you quit it with that face? What are you talking about? That crap excuse for a smile, it looks like a face someone taught you to make. Boom. You're strangely perceptive at times. Look, you lie with your face like that sometimes, don't you? Right in your family or something? Fake smiles are an expression of consideration for others. You want me to scowl instead? At least smile a little more believably. It's completely blatant. I was taught that children's smiles and women's tears are weapons, but this is the first time my own emotional front was penetrated like this. I may have been underestimating this woman. And now you're making that scary face again. That's why Makina's terrified of you, you know? I was born with this face. So was your sister born with that face as well? My sister was, in her case she always had this sleepy expression. Oh, that's so. But I have my sister there. Just came to mind. But importantly, are we finished with the shopping yet? Just have to pick up a silken tofu and shirataki noodles at the tofu store. But it's still not done. Just kidding, Christ. So I'd been promised when I agreed to the shopping expedition. But in the end, I ended up following her around for a good 2 hours. Jesus. Thanks for helping me with the shopping. You're a big help. As she speaks, Amane is picking away the ingredients she purchased, for some reason, into my refrigerator. I usually go with Makina, but when I'm shopping with her, we tend to get sidetracked at the candy counter or toy store or whatever, so it takes a while longer. It's not a problem, but mind if I ask you something? Why are you putting that stuff into the fridge in my room? I already told you the fridge in here is the biggest one. Who the hell is calling me? Got no idea if I read this because I was interrupted by a phone call, so let's go again. That's not the answer to the question. Come on, it's not like you're putting it to good use. Now are ya? Here, I'll give you a strawberry. That's from the pack that old man at the greengrocers gave to me. You got it because I was there. I'll let you drink the milk in the fridge, okay? It's not that I particularly care about her using the fridge, but her barging in here every time she needs to get something would be a pain in the ass. I know. And thanks for today, how about I make you dinner? I already cooked rice and I got canned food for the side dishes, so I'll pass. Canned food? That sounds pretty miserable. And the rice? You don't even have a cooker in here, so how are you preparing it? Using that over there, I point towards a cylindrical mesquite style rice cooker made of aluminum, currently towering over the IH cooking heater in my kitchen. Huh? You're cooking with a mesquite? IH heaters can't quite manage aluminum, so I've been using a gasoline stove I had with me instead. Quite the survivalist. Yeah, that stuff lying around. It's only normal for a man to have a stove or two. No, it's not. I don't have a stove or two. Normal for a man is probably an overstatement, but it's standard equipment for a backpacker at least. Ideally, you want one that can use the unlike gasoline you get from the gas stations. In that case, why don't you bring what you've made to my room? Nothing but canned food for side dishes is pretty sad, don't you think? I'm making Makina's helping anyway, so let's eat together. No, I'll pass. Why? Don't worry, I'm actually quite good at cooking. Makina would be there, wouldn't she? Ah, right. Makina's still scared of me, isn't she? Exactly, I think I'd be better if I wasn't there. How about using this as a chance to become friends? It's not going to happen that fast, and if I go out of my way to eat quietly, she'll end up feeling even more uncomfortable. I'll pass after all. Well, I guess I'll give up on tonight, but once Makina warms up to you, I can make it there whenever you want. You're telling me to become friends with her in exchange for food? That's not what I meant, but I really would like you to get along with her. She's actually really bad at making friends, so you should try starting a conversation from your end, Yuji-kun. I don't have anything against her, and I don't want to be in a hostile term, so I'll try to talk to her, but I'm not going to guarantee that it's going to improve things between us. Since my personality is what it is, in response to my implied statement, Amane answers, that's good enough, with her smile. Well, thanks for today! As soon as the words are out of her mouth, Amane briskly leaves the room, but... hey, wait, you forgot. The overnight bag, bagged with Amane's spare clothes, is still lying in the center of the room. That woman, she isn't planning to change my room again, is she? More to the point, I'm sure I locked this door when I left this morning. How did she even get in here? There aren't any signs of damage to the lock, and I can't imagine she's got a secret talent for lockpicking. Does she have a spare key or something? So Amane, the creature known as large women, are mostly careless, but we're let into certain details. They possess unusual intuition, as well as pointless large breasts. On the whole, deserve to be handled with caution. What is this fucking analysis? Jesus. Oh. What the hell? No matter what sort of life you're living, you run into people who just won't listen to what you have to say. When words don't get through, the easiest alternative is beating them into submission. Certainly a bit of a rough solution, but when you're dealing with another man, it's at least an option. But when you're dealing with a woman, let alone a shrimp of a girl who doesn't come up to your shoulder, it's a different story. If you start swinging your fists around out of irritation under those circumstances, and I would call it bullying the weak. It's bad style and would leave an unpleasant aftertaste. What's called for in such situation is perseverance and patience. In this age of rapid scientific progress, I'd like some machine you could stick on your back, throw the switch to Zen-like, and instantly gain infinite self-control. But sadly, despite the market potential for such a device, the world isn't such a convenient place yet. Well, no big deal. Fortunately enough, I'm pretty used to endurance tests. It's been 4 minutes since I spotted Iris and Makina wandering aimlessly around the campus, and called out, "What are you up to?" in a casual tone. On the bright side, she reacted to my voice and stopped dead in her tracks instead of fleeing. But beyond that, things haven't gone well. Staring fixatedly at my face, Makina doesn't speak a word. Can you not speak Japanese? Silent as always, Makina shakes her head back and forth in denial, apparently having understood my question. Are you afraid of me, maybe? The silence continues, and this time there is neither confirmation nor denial. It doesn't seem likely that she didn't understand the question, which means this one is in uncertain territory somewhere between yes and no, as far as I can guess. I'm repeating myself, but this sort of communication takes a lot of patience and persistence. I try to consciously consider things from Makina's point of view. It transfers to him with an unclear background. What's more, a man 178 centimeters high, 178 centimeters low. No, joking. From the perspective of Makina, who I'd guess we are 140 centimeters, she's so fucking small. It might well be a little intimidating than me towering above her. From the moment I crouched down so that my eyes are level with hers, it seemed like you were wandering around the grounds. Are you looking for something? What voice do you give Makina? Nope. Makina speaks a single word in a quiet voice and once again shakes her head in denial. And what were you doing? That's a point of some interest to me, but well, if you get down to it, wherever she is and whatever she's doing is her own business, I suppose. I'm not a policeman, I don't have any reason to drag it out of her. In this case, it might be best to find some words to wrap this club clearly. Clearly goodbye, and let this timid creature be on her way. As I reach this conclusion, Makina slowly moves her hand to the rear of her skirt, grabs something with her stubby fingers and pushes it in front of my eyes. What's this thing? At a glance, the item in Makina's small hand is a toy-like object roughly the size of an egg, with an LCD screen buried into the center. A digital pad? What's that? On closer examination, there is some unknown life form or monster, most closely resembling a chick, displayed in blocky pixels on the central LCD. It seems to be programmed with some cheap animations, about 3 patterns or so. Ah, come to think of it, I remember reading a news article about this a few years ago. After developing the smallest 3-axis geomagnetism sensor in the world at the time, a certain company fed the technology into a children's electronic toy, which then became an explosive hit among grade schoolers. It's a pedometer, right? One of those things where the pad grows up faster the more you walk. Yeah, that's it. During her head, Makina returns the pedometer in her hand to her waist. However, she wasn't looking for anything in particular. The wandering itself was the objective. Walking's a good thing since it's aerobic exercise without too much strain on the joints, and if you're going to walk anyway, having some sort of visible result from the effort might make it feel more worthwhile. Well, I don't really want to go outside that much. Makina points at the school gate as she speaks. I see, it makes sense that she wants to avoid crowded places, given her extreme shyness. That would restrict her slow space around the school grounds, which would get quickly repetitive. Indeed. So the digital pad serves as a distraction from the boredom, most likely. You like taking walks? Sorta, kinda. Sorta, is it? While walking for fun at this age might be a little odd, it seems more like the hobby of an old man. You have any other interests, like reading for example, reading books lately? Books? Manga's fine too, whatever. To tell the truth, I already heard from Amane that Makina often reads books, and reading is a hobby of mine as well. I think it's a decent common topic for starters. Response to my question, Makina holds her right index finger to her chin and mumbles, I'll gaze up at the sky. A quiz book? Quiz, huh? Was interesting. Was dangerous sweet that's life-threatening to observe with the naked eye? Life-threatening to observe with the naked eye? What kind of death ray weapon is that? And a sweet of all things. Some new tech from the West. Just look at it, it's dangerous. Would mean it's probably some variety of optical weapon. Something like an X-ray possessing mass, or some sort of beam saber-style light-based killing tool. No, but if just seeing it is dangerous, some sort of super weapon that radiates a pulse to the receptors of the eyeball, using a flickering pattern to stimulate the brain cells and trigger accelerated apoptosis. Hold it. Hold it. This thing is a sweet, right? A sweet. What the heck? Where did we go from there? All I'm getting is some sort of chocolate pastry shooting out a mysterious beam of light. Pew pew pew. Don't know, I give up. What's the answer? Candy. What? See and die. See and die. Ah, I get it. I missed that angle. Candy. Can I go now? Huh? Yeah, sorry to hold you up. Not even a buy or later, Makina leaves the area at a trot, as if fleeing from me. Doesn't seem like she outright hates me though. Isn't the opposite? How long have we been there? Since the part about Candy, I think. What do you mean by the opposite? Ah, well, you know, her shyness is definitely part of it, but I think Makina's trying not to be disliked by you. Trying not to be disliked? Makina's really a more cheerful girl, but she's often so energetic that it gets on people's nerves, so she's holding back. Fair enough, I remember seeing her rushing around brandishing a cicada and cackling that first time. If that's her normal state, then the way she behaves in front of me would certainly be a product of deliberate self-restraint, but... if she's holding back, isn't it proof that she's consciously trying to avoid being hated by you? I think it could be interpreted as simple fear as well. Well, half out of fear does sound about right, but I think that will be alright. What makes you say that? When you were talking with Makina just now, you squared it down to talk to her face to face, right? That's actually pretty effective. Yeah. When I was a kid, there was a time I'd been surrounded by unfamiliar adults and found myself on the brink of tears. When one of the adults stooped down to talk with me, face to face, I immediately got emotionally attached. Looking back, I feel like shouting, "You sure got attached to an outrageous person," or complaining about what an idiot I was, but... right, I'm pretty tall myself and all, and Makina didn't take to me at first. It took a good month to figure out the trick of bending over when I talked to her. And now she's glued to you, or something like that. Ah, well, she's definitely gotten attached to me, but it's not like we're together constantly. Makina is the type that fundamentally likes to play alone. And the girl's got some pretty fierce mood swings too. Don't take this the wrong way, but if I was with her constantly, I get worn out pretty fast. Maybe she's playing by herself because she understands that. I can't explain it too well, but she's kind of like a cat. When she wants her attention, she'll meow and cuddle up to you, but the instant she gets bored, she'll be gone like that. Her hair is all fluffy and curly, her body's flexible and so her temperature is high, so it's warm when you hug her, and she's got a mildly sweet scent. Very cat-like, don't you think? A cat, I see. Well, she might seem a little blunt until she gets used to, but she's really not a bad kid. Try to make friends. I don't plan to force her to be friends if she doesn't want to, but yeah, I'll try to avoid being hated. If I avoid unnecessary contact, I shouldn't inspire any hatred or come to hate anyone myself. In exchange, I won't be liked or come to like anyone either. Maintaining emotional distance along appropriate lines is an essential but extremely difficult aspect of forming efficient interpersonal relationships. Of course, there are always these careless puppy dog types who leap into your arms wagging their tails right from the start. What? Are you staring at my... What are you staring at my face for? Well, just think about how beautiful you are. Get in the mood for a kiss? Alright, Amane, close your eyes. Okay. Her chest swung with some ridiculous expectation. Amane closed her eyes and thrust out her lips as instructed. When quickly and silently, I make good my get away, leaving the girl to her foolishness. Hey! Where are you going? Ah, you tease. I see. Makina may have the right idea. Leaving out later or goodbye entirely and silently running away certainly is less troublesome. Don't take it the wrong way, Amane. It's not that I hate you. I'm just trying to avoid being hated by you. Read books in a well-lit area. That was a teaching of my master's. At that time, I was accustomed to reading while shut up in a closet or dark room, so those words felt a bit refreshing. Of course, it's not like I'm worried about obeying the teachings of a woman who's already dead, and I'm still not good with direct sunlight, but here I am searching for a bright place with a book in hand anyway. Aren't I adorable? No reason to wander around looking for a sunny place in this shitty heat. Stepping away from the air-conditioned school building, I unfold the school's admission guide pamphlet. On the coated three-fold brochure, there is a bird's-eye view illustration of the campus, with a mark to the south of the schoolhouse annotated Blind sight of library construction. Blind sight mean there isn't a library yet, I guess. Although there is something library-esque on the second floor of the school building, the collection only holds around 200 books. You can apply to have a book stocked if you're after one in particular, and apparently a bookmobile replaces the existing collection every once in a while, but doesn't seem like it's being used that heavily. In other words, there is no reason to go out of my way to borrow the key to use it. I brought my own books. And there are plenty of well-lit areas besides the library. While casually looking over the pamphlet, I find the words Rose Garden. This is definitely our principal's doing. A rose garden is absolutely essential for a school attended by young maidens. At the entrance ceremony every year, the seniors can pin the roses they grew themselves on the chests of new students. How beautiful! Or so I can easily imagine a certain woman who doesn't know how to act her age, deluding herself. Pretty florists might calm her mind, but they won't fill her belly. If you get room to grow them, it would be better used for an edible plant, but telling her that would probably just make things unpleasant. I'll just have to remember to greet Principal Tachibana with a good day, Oni-sama. The next time I see her. A rose garden, eh? I don't have an interest in edible flowers, but I guess there would be a shade there too as well. Imagining myself reading under a tree surrounded by blooming roses brings a smirk to my face. Guided by these silly thoughts, I decided to head towards the rose garden for the first and only time. They call it a rose garden, but not a single one's in bloom. Based on the map, this is definitely the right spot, and there's even a white arch that seems appropriate, but from what I can see, there aren't any roses in flower. Maybe the garden's still a work in progress, or perhaps they're cutting the buds during the summer. Well, not like I came to see the roses in the first place, or whatever. Oh, bright lights, Jesus. Hello, passed out Makina. That was a surprise. I wasn't expecting anyone else to be here. And more importantly, what the heck is she doing? I approached silently and touched Makina's neck in the area of her carotid artery. She's got a pulse. On close inspection, she's breathing quietly. So I guess the wicked stepmother, Amane in this case, then feed her a poisoned apple. She's sleeping. Wait, this thing is a cat, I think. A large cat is serving as a soundless sleeping Makina's pillow. I take it for a stuffed animal at first glance. It sure looks like a fluffy toy, but when I draw close, the stubby ears buried in its fur twitch like miniature radar antennas. My next question, why sleep out here, soon resolves itself. I see, it's definitely nice and cool here. Cats are knowledgeable about cool places, or so they used to say. As for Makina, I expect she was wandering around by herself, as per usual, then grew exhausted and collapsed into sudden sleep on the spot. I was a partially gnawed apple on Makina's chest, rise and fall with her breathing. She fell asleep in the middle of eating, just like a baby. I noticed the Makina's mouth is half open, and dripping transparent drool. Not to mention her hair is scruffy mess, the ribbon on her uniform is crooked, and she's wearing different socks on the left and right alike. What's with this girl? As I look down upon her, Makina suddenly snuffles noisily. No. What a weirdo. It's been a while since the last time I laughed at a woman's sleeping face. And as I'm filled with the desire to keep watching, this comforted and peaceful atmosphere of this place also wells up within me. At the moment, I sense someone watching me and look over to find that Makina's pillow cat is woke up and is staring at me in surprise. Sorry to bother you, go back to sleep. I leave them, taking care to avoid making noise, and sit down under a tree a little ways away. Phew! Wandering around as she pleases, then falling asleep in the nearest cool place when she gets started. I see, she certainly does remind you of a cat. I'm envious. That's not sarcasm or anything, I'm genuinely envious of not Makina. I'm sure that she brings that little pocket of naturally peaceful space with her whenever she goes. I think that's something worth envying, and it's probably very precious to her as well, which might well be why she doesn't want to step outside the sanctuary of a school when she can avoid it. Inside the sanctuary, it would crumble in a moment without the protection of others. Another day will come when I too can sleep in that utterly defenseless way. Then around the sun, I noticed a fat white cat from before appearing from the direction of the ticket I just left. Wrestling its way through the foliage and stabilizes, it stops suddenly when it spots me under the shade of my tree, lighting me with sleepy-looking eyes, and lets out a single, disgruntled meow. Meow. My bad. After getting silently woke in the middle of a pleasant nap, it's not natural. If I ever pulled out of bed on a Sunday morning by some pushy religious solicitors, I'm sure I'd make a similar face. Although the fat cat doesn't seem to have accepted my apology, he snuffles roughly and lumbers away from this place. As I'm watching the cat's dignified exit, the bushes start to at us again. I hear the sound of a dim-witted creature awake and lazily stretching out its body. When I take a look, Makina's crouched on the ground on all fours, bending her back. He realizes a cat in human form. Maki opens her mouth, holds down the yawn, and wraps roughly at the tears spray out of the corner of her eyes. After a restless look around the area, she draws herself up off the ground. It's not like I'm doing anything I need to be ashamed of, but before I realize it, I've hidden myself from her. Huh? I was staying stuck still for a moment. Makina takes a bite from the apple in her hand and wanders off briskly. And where is she off to now? It doesn't look like she's got any particular destination in mind. Given my interest I find difficult to pin down, I decide to quietly follow Makina. There's no regularity to Makina's actions. Just when I think she's walking straight towards something, she'll come to a sudden stop, look around restlessly, and head off in a different direction. It doesn't seem like she's lost or anything, so I suppose she's just moved wherever her whims take her. It makes it incredibly troublesome for me to tell her. Well, we'll leave Yuji's stalking for another day. I hope you lads enjoyed the episode. Press like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all later. Bye.